Hi, I'm Jenny Noyes, and I'm here today to tell you about my experience of the creative process. I have designed a course that assists people in their own creative journeys, and creativity is everywhere. It's in our relationships, it's in everything we do, it's in our relationships with ourselves, with society, with the universe. Speaking of the universe, looking at the fundamental building blocks of life, today's video is going to look at this concept of space and how we are just energy. And this has been inspired by my journey into physics, atomic physics, and quantum physics. Interestingly, if we get down to the subatomic particle level, the theoretical realm of physics, which, they can't prove things yet, they're working on it. But we get into an idea of string theory, and in this theory we have 7 wrapped up dimensions. And reading about that, we obviously don't have time to talk. I'm trying to keep these videos sort of fairly short, so there's no time to go into that. But what is wonderful is that the 7 wrapped up dimensions being suggested as a possible answer to some questions about how things work. And so we have this 7 theme. Last video I talked about the 7 chambers in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Later on we'll look at the 7 Indian chakras. And so really I'm just going to talk a little bit about energy. And if we look at what makes up, so the fundamental building blocks of life, what makes up plants, what makes up humans, what makes up tables, everything that we access with the 5 senses, tasting, touching, smelling, is all made up of atoms. So there's a lady called Caroline Myers who I love her books, and she talks about how we have been in shock ever since we split open the atom back in the early 1900s, and we're still trying to get our head around the fact that we found out that atoms are not dense, they are made up of mainly energy. So much so that if we were to take all the density of the human population, so all the atoms that make up each human and then all the humans over the world, the density that is present in all the humans of the world will fit on a teaspoon. Some people say an apple, but we're talking small. So an atom, if we take a grapefruit, it's made up of many atoms. How big is an atom? Well, we have to blow the grapefruit up to the size of the Earth, and an atom would then be the size of a blueberry. So a blueberry compared to the size of Earth, that's how many blueberries you fit inside a grapefruit, that's how many atoms are, that's how small it is. In order to conceive the nucleus, so inside, if we go back to school science, inside an atom is made up of a nucleus and an electron that orbits around, and that energy field of the electron creates a kind of a shell of some sort, or a shape or a structure of the atom. So we know that the electron is moved by electromagnetic force. The electron itself has got less mass to a proton, less mass to a neutron, so the electron is very small as well. But to get an idea of how small, we now have to blow the blueberry up to the size of a football stadium. So our little atom is going up to the size of a football stadium, and the nucleus, the size of the nucleus inside that atom would be the size of a marble. You stood in the middle of a football stadium, and it's the size, the nucleus where the protons and neutrons are, is the size of a marble. And the electron orbits from one side of the football stadium to the other, and it is even smaller than the marble. So that's a lot of space. That's a huge amount of space. And there's lots of theories around what makes up a proton and neutron. We get into quarks, we get into quantum physics, and then even further down than that makes the quarks, we have string theory, which suggests that everything is made up of vibrating strings, which are so tiny. Okay? So what I'm saying is that we are energy. We're just energy. Our cells are communicating all over our body. And what does this do for me? The inspiration for me, I can feel myself relaxing, my body's relaxing. I'm just like, the space. I mean, this pressure that I sometimes find myself putting on myself, suddenly it's space, it's energy. We're just energy. And you look out to the stars and you kind of find yourself speechless if you're in that moment in awe. And the stars, someone told me the stars flicker because of stuff moving in front of them. Got to take a breath, right? So I suppose for me, it makes me feel safe and held and supported, like there is a greater wisdom out there than I can possibly comprehend. It also helps to remind me that my body is extremely wise because of all the communications going on energy-wise within inside me, is also connecting to the outside world. And it helps me to move away from my ego. The last 6 years I have been on a healing journey. I have made friends with my demons. I used to just converse with angels, I think. And now I've realized I've got these kind of patterns in my thought processes that I've been suppressing. I suddenly find myself aware of my story and how important that has been to me, but not in a conscious way, in a very unconscious way, and how that has impacted on my life, my creativity. So it's been quite an emotional journey these last 6 years, but also, why haven't I been able to do this? Why can't I do that? Why can't I manifest things that I want to manifest? Things happen to me. So it's moving away from that idea and actually being like, I'm stopping myself. I'm stood in my own way. So it's been a very liberating journey. So I'm Jenny Noyes, and I would love to share in your creative journey. I have a space, a sacred space for you to come and explore. It's a very feminine space for you to come and explore your own masculine, your own feminine, find that balance. We'll go into masculine and feminine later on in another video. But it's really just to find your inner balance and to become a conscious creator of your life. Or if you're already aware of these concepts, to support you moving forward. I'm here with no judgment and to help you to explore yourself and connect with the answers to your questions that are already inside you.